Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have some more journals to share with you guys. These are 3 more journals that I'm going to be selling on my website. So these 3 will go on my website for sale, but do let me know, do you guys prefer to purchase on Etsy? Because in future I'm considering switching my sales back to Etsy just because of the amount of comments that I've got that Etsy is so much faster and easier to check out, especially when you're kind of like racing to get something. Anyway, with that said, these 3 will be on my website this time regardless, and all of the information for that will be in the description box. So the date, the time, all of that stuff will be in the description box if you'd like to know when they will become available. So the 3 journals that I have here are really big. They are about the same size as the personal journal that I'm working in at the moment. So they're about this size, and typically I steer away from making and selling books that are this size just because of how heavy they are and how much they cost to post. But this time I decided to do 3 that are this size. So if you're someone that really likes the look of a larger journal or you like using a larger journal, these 3 are huge. I have made these 3 in a baby theme, so they are technically baby books. I did use baby themed papers and things, so they would work perfectly as a baby book. However, with that said, I think if you wanted to, you could definitely make them work as just a regular journal. I think I definitely could make them work as a personal journal. There are certain papers in here that are very baby themed, so you could cover them up, or you could make them work if you wanted to do that. But for a baby book, these would be perfect, and they have so much space to add things, and I've left heaps of room for you to really bulk them up. So as you can see, like with my personal journal when I started it, they slant inwards because I've left so much space for them to grow. And once you are finished filling them up and using them, they should sit more like this, and they won't be alligator mouth. They'll sit really nicely on a shelf. As you can see with my personal journal, which as I said is about the same size, same width and everything, I am just over halfway finished in this journal. And as you can see, I think by the time I'm finished with it, it'll be pretty much perfect. So I really made sure to leave myself enough space, and I use that as a guide for creating these 3 as well. So if you want to fill them up with stuff like I do in my journals, you can do that easily and not worry about it becoming too full to work in or to store. So these are the 3 covers. There is a green, yellow and pink. The yellow is slightly smaller than the other 2. It's just a little bit less tall, probably about half an inch or so. And these 2 are very close in size. I did make the covers, so that's why they're not exactly the same, but there's very little variation between them. I chose some of my favorite images from some of my favorite children's books. So these are all little golden book images that I really like. This one has the pinky tones, so I put it on the pink cover, and I really like the way the red and the blue pop with this green. And then this one's very sunny and yellow and happy. And inside, this one has a lot of pink papers, this one has a lot of blue, and this one has lots of warmer yellows and stuff. It's a bit more like retro and bright. And all of the spines are made with this pretty floral decal. So there's the pink one, and the green one, and the yellow, and they all have a pretty little selection of beads hanging on the spine for the dangles. So this one has like orangey tones, this one's got some blues and greens and a little pop of red to complement the cover, which I think works really well. And then this pink one has the pinks and the greens, and just a nice little selection of beads and charms. They all have this really cute little shovel or spade charm on them. I just thought that was a really cute little touch. I also have ordered a while ago some book corners to add to these, like some metal book corners, just to finish them off and give them a little extra touch. They haven't arrived yet. I'm thinking they might arrive tomorrow. So if they do arrive in time, I will add them on before I post these out. So let me give you a quick glimpse inside each book. These are the bags, by the way, that they will come in. So there's this pretty bright blue, and then this really cute little floral, and then this one I did another bright blue, but I just attached a little linen doily onto that one. I just thought that would be cute to make it a little bit different. So you just swivel up the charms and we can open it up. They've all got this little library card pocket in the front, and then I'm just going to flick through pretty quickly. I've tucked a lot of ephemera, both vintage and new, inside the pockets, but if you don't want to use this for a baby book, or if you just want to take them out and move them around, or take them out and use them for something else, you can do that. None of them are attached. I have sewn a bunch of pockets. There's lots of vintage wallpaper pieces in each book, and there's just a nice little variety of papers like I always like to do. This is a pretty little wallpaper tag that I made, tucked in there. And this is a cool old envelope that I just attached to the page, and you can see it's kind of open. You can tuck things in here, and you can also tuck things in the envelope. And what you could also do is you could close the envelope and tuck it here, and no one would know. It's kind of like a secret pocket because you can't even see it, that it's open. So I just have that tucked over the page at the moment, so you know that it's there. And every book has one of those vintage envelopes inside. So there's music paper, vintage ledger paper, there's scrapbook paper. This is a sewing pattern pocket, and I've just sewn it on. You can journal underneath and lift it up, and I've just tucked some vintage ephemera inside. There's craft paper, there's a pocket there. And as you can see as I flick through, there is lots of baby themed patterns and papers, but I feel like it has such a cool vintage retro vibe to it that you could definitely make it work for something else if you wanted to. As you guys have probably noticed, I always like to add images on the front of my book that have like these beautiful illustrations that are often children. And so even though they're children on the covers of my personal journals, I still use them to document my own life. So just because there's a baby on the front doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a baby book, if you know what I mean. Just flick through pretty quickly. There's some really nice papers in here, a really nice mixture of things, new and old papers. And I've made sure to leave plenty of room for you to make it all your own. So the pages have lots of clear space for you to use them however you need to, depending on however you want to use the book. This is a paper bag that I've stitched onto the page so you can journal underneath, and there's a few extra little bits of ephemera tucked inside. This little pocket there. And then come into the back, little envelope pocket there with some little bits tucked inside there, and there is the back. Nice and simple. So there is that one. Then we have this girly one. It's very pink. There's lots of pink pages in here. We have the library card pocket again, and again I'll just flick through pretty quickly. This is a wallpaper pocket. There's just a little journal card tucked inside. This little envelope in there. This is like a vintage greeting card. It's a pretty little top loading pocket with wallpaper, and then another one of those little tags that I made. So again, this one has lots of baby themed stuff, but it's also got lots of just really pretty vintage looking papers, so you could use it for whatever you want. This is another one of those pattern envelopes, and this one I just sewn along. I actually had to do a little repair on it, so I've closed the envelope up and then just used it as like a pocket. So it's like stitched this way across the page. Oh, this is a pocket here, so this part is a pocket. There's just some little bits tucked inside. This is some really nice textured wallpaper which I've made into a pocket. And then there's another pocket in there. Just some little bits attached to the page. This is another wallpaper pocket on both sides, so you can just tuck something under. Another little tuck pocket there in the corner. Lots of pinks, but lots of pretty florals as well, so it's really fun. This is another one of those vintage envelopes. There's actually something written on here with lead pencil that you can't really read. I found these in a thrift store ages ago, and that's a pocket there. And again, you could hide this and have it as a secret pocket if you wanted to. Little pocket there. This is the same paper bag as the other book, but I've just stitched it along the bottom this time, so you can journal underneath, and there's just a little journal card tucked inside. This is a top loading pocket, and another top loading pocket, which is the other side of that page, and there is the back. And I just love this lining paper as well in this book. It's one of my favorites. So there is that one. And then last of all, we have this yellow one, which is really fun. It's got lots more bright variety of colors inside, but lots of pretty yellow tones. And like I said, it's just a little bit shorter than the other two. Again, I'm just going to flip through pretty quickly. Same little library card pocket there. This is some vintage wallpaper and just a vintage greeting card tucked inside. Vintage ledger paper. There's a flash card tucked in there. This is the other one of those envelopes. This one, because the book was a little bit shorter, I had to trim it open along the top, but it still works the same. So it's a little pocket in there and you can hide it away just like the other two books. This is another pattern pocket, which I've attached on there, and some ephemera tucked in beside it. This one just has lots of like happy retro sort of papers in it, which I really love. It's a really fun book, and I feel like this one is probably the least babyish of all. Like the paper selection inside is less babyish than the other two, because I've done like a yellowy toned one. I didn't really have any baby themed papers that were in those yellow tones, because I always make them in blue and pink, of course. So this one's got more of a mixture of things. Pockets in there. Just some really fun old book pages, some music pages. That's a wallpaper pocket as well. Some fun storybook pages. This is the wallpaper tag that I made for this one. So it's got those yellowy, orangey tones to it. There's some pockets there. Little envelope fold out, stitched to the page, and I've just tucked some baby themed ephemera inside. Cute little playing cards tucked away. Some more in there. That's some really pretty vintage wallpaper. This is a really cute little vintage invitation, which I've just tucked in like this. And then this photo is actually just from the paper collection by Create Paper. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now. But yeah, just lots of fun papers to play with, and the size is what I think is really cool about this collection, because I don't often do journals that are this big when I sell them, just because I have to post them internationally and I know that postage is already ridiculous. So I try to keep them on the smaller side, but this is kind of like a rare occurrence where I'm making them the same size as what I'm working in at the moment. So, and I personally love journaling in a book that's this big. It gives you so many options, and it's really limitless with what you can do on each page. So I really love to work in a larger book. Just a little vintage playing card and a little cut apart piece in there. That one's fallen out of the pocket. Just lots of really fun colors in this book. So there is that one. So that is the 3 journals that I have available. I'm so happy that I already have another collection for you guys, but that's just because it's taken me so long to get them, both of these recent collections out. It's taken me all year, but to have them quite close together is kind of fun, because usually there's a long wait in between each collection. If you do want to catch the restock for these, make sure you check out the description box for all the information. Make sure that you remember that I'm in Australia. Have a look at what time it will be depending on whatever time zone you are in. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.